The prodigal spirit, when you walked away from God, yet he didn't leave you. Some souls aren't saved, they're sentenced to remember. Trials and tribulations are sometimes blessings in disguise in the hope that you learn and pass your test back to light. A brilliant young woman raised in a strict monotheistic household slowly unravels under the weight of generational expectations. Her curiosity about forbidden knowledge leads her to a secretive coven promising power and liberation. The 7 sins pact. She overindulged in the 7 sins: pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth, believing it will free her, or so she was taught and believed at first. She participated in group sexual activities to gather and share energies as to use them in the dark practices. The turning point: on completing the 7th sin, she experiences a spiritual void. Her prayers go unanswered, as if heaven itself has gone silent. The abyss lost in spiritual exile. The price of power. Her gifts turned against her, visions become nightmares, intuition becomes paranoia. The silence of God. For the first time, she felt true isolation, no divine whispers, no comfort. She got nothing more than fleeting joys that never lasted beyond her waking up the second day feeling the guilt and shamus of her indulgences. Coven betrayal. The coven abandoned her when her energy was depleted, leaving her spiritually adrift. Rock bottom. Wanders physically and mentally, a ghost of herself, haunted by the sins she weaponized. The descent from a cultural rebellion into a coven initiation. Cultural clash. She rejects her family's outdated faith, calling it oppressive. The coven's lure. Seduced by promises, fame, success, beauty, she joins the coven, but in exchange of autonomy, she undergoes a dark initiation ritual. The falling away. The first time Dee burned her prayer rug, the smoke smelled like liberation. Raised in a devout household where women's dreams were measured in quiet obediences, she choked on the scent of incense and expectation. At 23, her brilliance had outgrown the family's cramped theology. When the coven found her a circle of intellectuals who quoted Nietzsche alongside necromancy, they offered what her faith never could: power without apology. The initiation required 7 surrenders. Pride. She spat on her father's Quran while they filmed it. Greed. Stole her sister's inheritance to buy black market relics. Lust. Performed the rite of chains, a ritual where participants swap partners to the rhythm of inverted psalms. Envy. Poisoned a rival's skincare with graveyard mold. Gluttony. Ate a feast while fasting, neighbors starved. Wrath. Cursed her childhood imam with chronic pain. Sloth. Slept through her mother's funeral. The morning after completing the 7th sin, Dee woke to silence. Not peace, absence. Her once vivid intuition now showed only static. When she tried to pray, the words dissolved like ash on her tongue. 2. The abyss. Power. She learned, was a lone shark. Her visions twisted. Instead of seeing futures, she witnessed her victims suffering. The philanthropist coughing up black petals, the artist setting fire to his own paintings. Mirrors reflected her true face, hollow-eyed, with veins like cracked pottery. The coven discarded her when her energy waned. You're empty. The high priestess shrugged, pocketing Dee's last sacred amulet. That night, she hallucinated her ancestors standing at the foot of her bed, their backs turned. Rock bottom came in a motel bathroom, scrubbing ritual tattoos with bleach. The water ran red, but the marks remained. 3. The turning. The old woman at the bus stop wasn't supposed to matter. Yet when Dee heard her humming a childhood lullaby, one her grandmother sang during storms, something splintered. She followed the melody like a lifeline, collapsing at the woman's feet. You reek of hell, the stranger said, pressing a date into Dee's palm. Eat this. The first repentance is always bitter. The purge lasted 40 nights. Vomiting live beetles, coven surveillance spales. Scratching off invisible sigils that bled real blood. Screaming apologies to empty rooms where ghosts listened. Her reluctant guide, a former coven member missing an eye, taught her the rules of unweaving. For every spell cast, a counterspell of restitution. For every victim, a wound willingly carried. 4. The reckoning. Redemption demanded collateral. Pride. She knelt outside the mosque she'd defaced, scrubbing graffiti with bare hands until her nails tore. Greed. Returned stolen wealth with interest, working triple shifts at a hospice to pay victims' medical bills. Lust. Lived celibate for a year, learning her body as something other than a weapon. The final test came at Mount Hera's base, the same mountain where her faith's first prophet received revelation. As she climbed, her shadow peeled itself from the ground, wearing her coven robes. They'll never trust you, it hissed. Your own blood calls you monster. Dee fell to her knees. Then let me be a monster who serves the light. Dawn broke, the shadow screamed itself apart. B. The Scarred Sanctuary. 5 years later, Dee's shelter for coven runaways sits between a church and a methadone clinic. The girls come with hex bags in their bras and terror in their eyes. She checks their arms first, not for track marks, but for the telltale shimmer of energy leeches. You'll want to hate me, she warns, rolling up sleeves that reveal scars spelling thief in Enochian script. Iron everyone. Some stay, some spit in her face. I'll learn the first rule carved above the doorway. Some souls aren't saved. They're sentenced to remember. At night, when the nightmares come, she greets them by name. Ah, my old friends, what did you teach me today?